Hey guys, so yeah, you're not reading the title wrong. Starting tomorrow, things will get back to, I guess you could say normal, semi-normal, whatever you want to call it. Mainly because tomorrow, the 21st, is when my mom goes back to work. But what's interesting is it's going to be more of a week of, retraining because anytime teachers like her, preschool teachers or teachers of any kind, I'm assuming, go back to work, before the kids, go back to school where they work, basically, basically where, basically the kids go back to school, but the teachers go back before to kind of get themselves readjusted and everything. They go through trainings. Um, that's kind of what my mom is going to be doing in this next week or so. Um, anyway, what's interesting is it's going to be scheduled 8 to 5 every day this week. Not too sure about next week, but mainly 8 to 5. Now I'm assuming she'll be doing the 8 o'clock hour stuff next week as well, but we'll see what happens. Now, for me, yes, things will be getting back to normal here, you know, on a weekly basis, kind of, because um, just to let you guys know, and I mentioned this briefly in one of the videos I did recently. I mentioned this briefly, but I am now, or I will be as of the 28th, because they gave me or gave people that applied and got accepted, a choice of days, right? So I was given the choice of tomorrow and a week from tomorrow. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go with the week from tomorrow because I want to give my mom a time to readjust going back to work because she's going to be playing a little bit of a role in what happens. But also to kind of have a week to myself, kind of a week to do what I want to do and everything, um, from the time she leaves to the time she gets back and everything. So that's literally about 12 hours almost that I'll be able to do what I want to do, kind of, if you know what I mean. But the reason I bring that up is because a week from Monday, I will be, and I don't know if you can see this right here, I will be starting at Kohl's at the Patterson warehouse, where I have my sister working, my older sister, and my brother-in-law and my nephew working. The thing is, though, I'll be working the same hours as my sister, which are in the day, while my brother-in-law and my nephew are working in the late afternoon, mid-afternoon to the evening hours, late evening hours, almost into the next day. Basically 3 to 11:30. Me and my sister will be doing like 6 to 2:30. The orientation, though, is going to be a 6 hour deal, so that's going to be like 6 hours, which won't be a problem. And if it's what I'm envisioning, if it's what I'm envisioning, depending on where I'm at, I think I'm going to be okay because once I get the hang of it, time, like my sister says, will go by, just like that. Because one, I don't think I'll have any clock in front of me except for my phone if it goes off. And also the fact that, customers, I won't be dealing with them that much as well. And I'm always going to be, constantly going, hopefully, constantly going, hopefully, nonstop. Like, okay, it's like, I'll get this done. Now I got to do this. And, that's not that should not be an issue. I should be able to pick that up real quickly. Um, but yeah, the thing about what I said, getting back to normal or semi-normal, is that because of this schedule I'll be having mainly, starting, I'm assuming maybe the 29th at the most. I'll have to see what they have lined up for me. Because like I said, the 9 to 3 is the 28th, that's the orientation. But with the 29th, which I'm assuming would be when I do the regular scheduling, the reason I say that things could be back to semi-normal or back to normal kind of is the way things might be working out. Not saying it's totally going to go this way because sometimes there might be like overtimes that are mandatory or whatever. So that's going to be that'll be a road where me and my family will cross when it happens. I'll drink some coffee there. But like I said, that'll be a road me and my family will cross when it happens. But the reason I bring this up is because me and my sister, when we get off together at the same time, she'll drop me off at my bus stop, which will be next to my old job at Walmart, or at least across from it, because there are two. And what it will do is it'll drop me off there, or what she will do, I should say, my sister, is she'll drop me off there, then I'll board the bus, and that bus that is on the other side, which goes to the other side now, because of this new route that's been going for the past several months, it'll basically pick me up there. It'll just automatically go from there to Newman, almost nonstop. Almost nonstop. It'll take me to Newman. And if things work out correctly, I should be home maybe about 5, 10 minutes after 4. That's the way I look at it. That's the way how I look at it. That I should be home at least 5 to 10 minutes after 4. And what that would do for me, even going into the regular school year for my mom, is it would give me essentially about, I could say, almost 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours to myself, just about. So I'm going to have 2.5 hours to myself. Now, what does that do for my channel? Well, my channel, that's what's interesting. What that does for my channel is I'll still be able to provide content and everything. I'll still be able to provide content like what I'm doing here, but it's going to be a little bit more tricky at times. It's going to be a little bit more like, okay, this is different, so let's just see what happens, something like that. But but yeah, I'll still be able to provide content because just like when I used to work for Walmart and even Target, and I would get off at times to where I'd be able to get home before my mom does, I would have a little bit of time to do something if I was, not too tired. So so yeah, basically that's the goal, right? So basically that's what I feel is going to happen and everything, with this channel once things get adjusted and all that. Now what may happen as well is I may take my little trick that I've done and basically do some content and provide it the next day, or put it on the YouTube channel to be uploaded up into the next day and go from there. In other words, like it'll be filmed, but you won't see it premiered until the next day and everything. So that that right there will be probably what happens as well, if I'm too tired and stuff. But you will still be getting content. You will still be getting live streams. Like on Sundays, I'm gonna have that to myself a little bit, so I'll be able to, give you guys some content that way as well. Like the weekends, like in the early mornings and everything, and maybe late at nights, I'll be able to catch up with you guys. Like even on Friday evenings, you know, because I don't have to work on Saturdays. They're not open on the weekends. I'll be able to provide some content for you guys that way as well. But you'll still be getting some content, believe me. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult, not difficult, but it's going to be a little bit more different. Not too different because, like I said, I've done it before, but it will be different. It will be different. I will say that. Um, Now, as far as financialness goes, from what I understand, I will be, excuse me, I will be getting paid on a weekly basis. Now, what that means is that basically, instead of having to wait 2 weeks, now my first check will be the first exception because I'm new and they need to get me into the system and stuff like that. Um, but basically after that, it'll be like every week I'll be getting a paycheck and everything, so that'll help out tremendously with like bills and everything. And for anybody that wonders, can I maintain doing 8 hours? Yeah, I can. I can maintain doing 8 hours. I can maintain doing more because not only would I have like, let's say this I can bring with me, like little Folgers, and if they got a kick curve, if they got one of these machines in there, I should be okay. But I also have things like, let's say, my G Fuel, like let's see, you can see it, yeah, my G Fuel. right there. I would have my G Fuel with me, or at least something like that. I might even buy cans of G Fuel so I can have something to take with me to keep me going, because apparently that does help out. It does help out in a major way. So basically, I've got this whole situation. I've got this all in my mind of what I plan to do. But I'm just thankful to finally have a job again, even if it's temporary, because apparently this is a seasonal thing. So apparently it's only going to be for at least, I'm assuming, the end of the year, or into the next year. We're not really sure, but we'll see. We'll see what they. We'll see what happens, and all that. So yeah, I can't wait to. So honestly, I'm just, you know, happy to have an opportunity to finally work, and can't wait to get back to work and do whatever they have me do. Because again, even though it says a material handler, it doesn't mean exactly what material handler I'll be doing. I'll be working as, if you know what I mean. But yeah, starting tomorrow, things are getting back to normal, semi-normal, if you will. Because here's the tricky part too. Even with her, pre-season schedule, if you will, the hours might be a little bit different. Now, I'm assuming most of the time she'll have to be there at 8, which would kind of benefit us both. Because the way my mom plays into it is she would have to get up when I do, and we would have to leave at a decent time to get to my sister's, and then my sister would basically take. Then I would go with my sister, I should say, and then my mom would probably go from there to work. Now, if my mom wanted to, if my mom wanted to, she could, and it's the honest truth, she could stay at my sister's and get herself ready a little bit before she goes. She could do that too, but the way my sister looks at it, my mom can actually beat the traffic. She could beat the traffic, going to work, and by beating the traffic by going to work and everything, not only would she make it to work, in plenty of time, but there's a good chance and even I was thinking about this, there's a good chance she could have time to sit in her car for a little bit, drink her coffee, read her Bible, or turn on her phone and listen and watch Cleft Little Dollar, before she goes to work. So there's actually some positive to this. There's actually some positive, merits to it, if you will, when it comes to her, possibly, being part of this, helping me out a little bit, as well, because the buses don't run until about 6 something, and that's not going to help me out. And apparently, there is no bus route going down there, as we speak. So there are going to be times it's going to get a little tricky, but I think I should be able to figure things out, over time. Whether that means taking an Uber, and all that, or hitching my bike onto the bus and then riding it from where I get dropped off at to the job that my sister is at, and everything, or so on. But yeah, again, things are getting back to normal starting tomorrow, semi-normal, and mostly from an employment standpoint, it's getting back to normal, for me, and it won't really affect my channel that much. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Just thought I'd let you know about what's happening. And yes, things are back to normal, and I will talk to you later.